Football is a really passionate game, but sometimes that passion can spill over the edge and turn into pure chaos. These are 7 football beefs that went too far. First up is 2 retired ballers who are still beefing after 10 years, Diego Costa and Martin Skrtel. Rewind 10 years back and these two used to be epic cinema. Diego Costa for Chelsea and Martin Skrtel for Liverpool. Anytime these two faced off, you just knew it was going down. Brutal kicks, face shoves, brawls, sliding tackles. They fought hard against each other. But after they both retired from the game, you probably have expected both to shove the battles they had against each other as just memories. You'd be wrong. Chelsea versus Liverpool in a Legends friendly game a couple of days back, and they were at it again. Talk about rolling back the years. The Unks still got it. At least they were able to end on good terms. Even posed for pictures after the game. When Neymar and Alvaro Gonzalez had beef though, it wasn't a happy ending. Neymar and Alvaro Gonzalez. Honestly, these two felt like a soap opera you kind of wanted to end, but also wanted to somehow drag on for a bit. The genesis? Neymar was representing PSG against Alvaro Gonzalez's Marseille in Le Classique back in 2020, when they both ended the match on really bad terms. See, they'd been having a go at each other all game, but toward the final seconds before kickoff, all hell broke loose between the two teams and both Neymar and Gonzalez got physical. The ref didn't have a choice. He sent Neymar off, but this was only the beginning. Neymar came back to accuse Alvaro Gonzalez of racially abusing him in the game. Naturally, Alvaro Gonzalez denied the accusations and even maintained that Neymar was trying to make a big deal out of what had really happened and paint himself as the victim. You just knew it wasn't finished between these two, and so when they met again in the Trophée des Champions in January 2021, they continued where they stopped. It was personal between the two. So many kicks. At one point, Alvaro Gonzalez even had hands on Neymar's face, but in the end it was Neymar and PSG who ran out 1-0 winners, and that's when the real battle between the two began. They took it to Twitter. Neymar called out Alvaro Gonzalez, and he replied back with a statement that he always takes out the trash, referring to Neymar as trash. Neymar's response? He flat out told Gonzalez that his parents forgot to teach him how to win. Gonzalez wasn't lying back though. He came at Neymar with a line he knew would hit him deep. He told Neymar he would always be in Pele's shadow. Ouch. Neymar though wanted to end the fight, and that's when he told Gonzalez that Gonzalez would always be in his shadow and that he taught him how to win. For two professionals at the highest level, this was messy. But they won't be the first two to have prolonged beef on social media. A couple of years back, it was a former Arsenal star and a midfield legend at it, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Toni Kroos. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang versus Toni Kroos. Scratch that. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang versus Karen. Well, at least Kroos acted like one. This one all started when Toni Kroos called out Aubameyang in 2020 in a podcast. Completely caught everyone off guard. See, Kroos said that he thought Aubameyang celebrating with different masks or doing dance moves with his teammates was silly and didn't make him a good role model. Even called the entire thing nonsense. The problem though was that Oba found out about the interview and fired back. He showed a picture of a kid who'd taken inspiration from his celebration and then asked if Toni Kroos had kids. Kroos replied he did have 3 kids, but he just set himself up because Oba's response? He sent an image of himself and Marco Reus, Kroos' then teammate at international level, celebrating together in Batman masks, and told Kroos to show his 3 kids that celebration. You know, for a player like Kroos who made everything he did look cool, this wasn't one of those moments. But at least it's over. The beef between Dominik Szoboszlai and Arda Güler? That's eternal. Dominik Szoboszlai and Arda Güler. It's almost funny to think of how these two got into a fight. Not that we didn't like it though. Turkey beat Hungary 6-1 on aggregate, 3-1 at home and 3-0 in Budapest. During the match in the second leg, Arda Güler was caught gesturing shh to Dominik Szoboszlai, implying that the Hungarian captain captain shut up, but Szoboszlai preferred to respond off the pitch with his keyboard. I can't lie, it was savage. On an Instagram post, he commented with the numbers 1088. Except these weren't just random numbers. Szoboszlai was actually referencing Arda Güler's minutes for Madrid at the time in the 24-25 season. Once Güler got the memo, he fired back, called Szoboszlai a joke, and talked about the 6 goals he took in as being too much for him to handle. Ouch! From that point on, the fans took over. Szoboszlai posts on Instagram, you got Turks flooding his comments with Güler-related pictures and messages, and it was the same way around when Güler posted on IG. It all sounds dumb how this one came about, to be honest, but at least it didn't get physical. Not like when these two teammates had a major brawl in a big game. Sadio Mane and Leroy Sané. There are anger issues, and there's what Sadio Mane and Leroy Sané had while playing for Bayern Munich. So what really happened then? Well, it was a Champions League game against Manchester City. Bayern lost 3-0 at the Etihad, but in the closing minutes of this one, Mane and Sané could be seen arguing. Except it wasn't just an argument, it was escalating. Apparently, Mane was pissed with how Sané was talking to him on the pitch. So right after the game, he was in the tunnel waiting for his teammate, and as soon as Sané came in, they went at it. And per multiple reports, Mane hit Sané and busted his lip open. Sané could be seen trying to hide the busted lip from the press, but the news was out by then. The Bayern head coach at the time, Thomas Tuchel, tried to sweep the issue over by claiming the club had dealt with it, but there was no hiding how big it was. So big that Mane left the club that summer despite only signing for the club the previous summer. I mean, Mane's always been a passionate guy, same with Sané, but getting to the point where they actually got physical is really crazy. The same team too. But so far we've only talked about players having beef with other players. What if I told you about the time Messi had beef with a manager that lasted over 20 years until he finally got his revenge in 2022? It really did happen. Messi and Van Gaal. You probably remember the celebration. Messi cupping his ears after scoring the second goal against the Netherlands in the 2022 World Cup quarter-final match. But there's an actual backstory to it, and it's insane. We're going back, way back to 2002. Louis van Gaal arrived as the new coach of Barcelona, and straight away he wanted to implement his brand of football at the club. He wanted players to play in a certain position, and for ones who didn't fit, he was ready to let them leave. He did the same with Juan Román Riquelme, and it didn't work. In the end, Van Gaal sanctioned the move to sell Riquelme to Villarreal after he refused to play him. It angered a lot of fans. You see, Riquelme was one of the leading heroes of South American football at the time, an idol to the next generation, and one of them was Lionel Messi. Messi was pissed with how Van Gaal had treated Riquelme, but he kept it in, especially after Van Gaal was sacked before he made his debut at the club. Fast forward to 2022, and ahead of the quarter-final clash, Van Gaal dropped a big statement. He claimed Messi was lazy and the Argentine team carried him, and that they were going to expose him. Add this to the Riquelme treatment, and the usually calm Messi lost it. That's why he celebrated like that and was agitated in that one. Waited for over 20 years, but finally got his revenge. Talk about taking it too far. What do you guys think? Do any of these players go overboard with the issues they had? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to Goal 90 for more videos like this. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.